World War I, or the Great War, was a very bloody war that introduced many new technologies. War itself evolved dramatically. When the war started, both sides still charged into battle on horses. By the end of the war, soldiers took to the skies in planes and in zeppelins, sailed the seas in submarines, and slowly made their way across no man's land in tanks. However, a lot of the war was fought in the trenches on the front lines. Trenches are probably one of the most well-known parts of World War I. They were very intricate and complicated. Most trenches are made up of 3 rows. These rows, in order from first to last, were the fire, support, and reserve trenches. These trenches had zigzag communications trenches connecting them, so soldiers could get from one trench to another. Additionally, trenches had many rooms dug out. Some of these were to store ammunition and food, and others were kitchens and medical stations. Usually, these were found in the last few trenches, not on the fire line. A final component of trench warfare was the no man's land between opposing trenches. This was an area that marked the front lines. Most soldiers did not survive going up onto it, which is how it got its name. It was littered with shrapnel and looked like Swiss cheese because of all the artillery. The invention of tanks, however, made crossing no man's land much easier. However, they were still slow and were sitting ducks. To combat this, they had machine guns on all sides to protect themselves. They usually had a good amount of crew, ranging from 3 to 4 people to 8 to 10 people. Trench life for soldiers wasn't that good. There was the obvious constant artillery bombardment being the deadliest part of trench warfare. Machine guns and snipers gave soldiers a hard time fighting against the opposing sides because they couldn't peek over the trenches. However, the trenches themselves were even worse. When a soldier died in them, they essentially buried them where they lay, causing the floor to have many dead soldiers beneath it. This attracted rats, which ate away at their food supply. Soldiers also had to watch out for gases like chlorine, phosgene, and mustard gas, which could all kill soldiers very painfully. This is prevented with the invention of gas masks. Here are a few examples of gas masks used by both sides during World War I. After World War I, trench warfare has been used in conflicts like World War II, the Iran-Iraq War, and the current conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Trench warfare during the Iran-Iraq War is very similar to trench warfare during World War I. During the current conflict in Russia and Ukraine, trenches are more used as a place to hide and get a vantage point on the enemy, instead of where the whole war is taking place. They are much more spread out and don't have a definitive no man's land between them. The technology used in World War I has evolved in many different ways, but so much of it was originally thought up of because of the many battles in the trenches. World War I's trench warfare teaches us many different things about how the battle was fought out, and how different battles then were than how they are today. It's kind of crazy how in a little over 100 years, so much can change.